What is up, YouTube? It's your boy CP. I know I've been gone for a while. It's just been work been killing me. It's just been a lot, but I'm on vacation right now, so that's pretty dope. I'm spending that time with my family, seeing some old friends. But anyway, I want to talk to you guys about the Dallas Cowboys. It's been a while since I've done a Cowboys discussion, so I figured I'd do one. Here it is, Tuesday night, and it's after the game, so anything that I may see in this video might change. Just know I'm recording this Tuesday night, so if anything happens Wednesday morning I didn't know about, I'll try to update you guys. But anyway, some I want to talk about like the takeaways from Sunday night's game, some things we need to improve on. I'll talk a little bit about Dak Prescott and a little bit about CD Lamb too, and the defense as a unit. So first takeaway I have from that game is that the defense is still playing at the high level it was playing last season. Only problem was last night they were constantly on the field. They forced a few punts. They had to take away. Michael Parsons had 2 sacks, so it's not like we got beat really badly. Because granted, yes, we only did score 3 points. If you don't know, the score is 19-3. But but you also got to take into account like the we were banged up. Honestly, I saw one video on Instagram yesterday that said last night game should have been on Jerry Jones, not on Dak, not on McCarthy, not on defense, offense, whatever. And he pretty much said, and I 100% agree with it, is that Jerry knew that the situation Prescott was in, he traded away Mari Cooper, didn't resign Cedric Wilson. He knew Michael Gallup was injured, James Washington was injured, so the person with the most experience next to CeeDee Lamb is Noah Brown. And if you're a true Cowboys fan, you know Noah Brown is a so-so receiver. I think his best spot right now is like he's only been like a receiver 3, and that's because of Amari Cooper and all 3 of our receivers were hurt at one point last year. So they kind of took away what a lot of people have been calling the three-headed monster in Dallas, which was CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup. So basically what that means is that, like I said, CeeDee Lamb, everybody was expecting him to be this true number 1 receiver, which I still believe he can be, is that he was in a really bad situation, just like Dak was in a really bad situation. It was him and a bunch of rookies that have no NFL experience whatsoever. Not saying they can't play well, because I would say they wouldn't be in the league right now if they couldn't play well. But you need some kind of veteran that can help CeeDee Lamb out, because I think one of the reasons why CeeDee Lamb was doing so well last year and he went over 1,100 yards is because he had Amari Cooper, who was drawing most of those double coverages. Because granted, yeah, CeeDee Lamb was doing great last season. He ended up with more yards than Cooper. The thing is, though, if I'm going up against a team, I know their number 1 guy is Amari Cooper. I'm gonna be like, all right, we gotta stop him first and foremost. CeeDee Lamb, we're gonna have to figure out a way to stop him too. But I'm more worried about Amari Cooper because of that veteran leadership. So since the defense was a little bit more drawn to Amari Cooper than they were CeeDee Lamb, CeeDee Lamb was able to excel because he's seen a lot of those one-on-one coverages. Now that he's like the number 1 receiver and like the only good receiver on that team, he's drawing all that coverages, and now that's leaving Dak with just nothing but UDFAs, 2 rookies, and then, well, they're all rookies, but UDFAs, rookies from the 2nd to 7th round. I don't remember the draft order by heart. I just know Tyler Smith was a first-round pick. And then you have Dalton Schultz, which he was a good tight end, and he was a viable option for Dak in some situations where he was moving the chains a few times, but he couldn't do it on his own. So he needed help. Lamb needed help. So I look at this and I kind of go back to 2014, 2015, when it was Dez, Beasley, and Terrence Williams Terrence Williams and Beasley, yeah, they were good guys for situations. Cole Beasley was more that, okay, third and medium, third and short. Who am I going to throw it to? Beasley. Terrence Williams was like, okay, number one guy's covered, and it's a two receiver set, so he's obviously going to go open. So Dez and CeeDee Lamb were kind of in a similar situation. Not saying it was the same thing, but it's very similar if you look back at the two players in those 2 years. So another thing that I saw in that game was the exact same thing that Dak was going through with not having protection. O-line was hurt. Key players were hurt. Was the same thing Patrick Mahomes went through in the Super Bowl against the Bucks 2 years ago. And please tell me I'm wrong, because I know I'm not. It's the exact situation. Go look at the highlights from guys couldn't catch passes. Protection was terrible. Quarterback couldn't get a rhythm. We kind of started well with the running game because Zeke did end the game with 52 yards. However, Kellen Moore is so pass heavy that even if he's getting a good rhythm in the run game, he's not going to stick with it because he's like, because he's still kind of in that mentality where I'm a quarterback, I gotta throw it. And also, like, when you're behind, and 9 times out of 10 when you're behind in an NFL game, you're going to pass the ball. You're not going to throw it, or not. You're going to pass the ball. You're not going to run it, not throw it, because you're thinking like, oh, we need chunk plays. We need to get down the field. We need to score. But you gotta take, like, okay, maybe if I run the ball and they start thinking we're getting a rhythm, that can set up my play action game, and that's just common football 101. And it was just watching that game, I was frustrated because I was just like, dude, like what is going on? Guys were dropping passes, and it's not even so much the coverage was good because there were guys open, and not to say that they weren't, but you got to catch the ball in certain situations, especially if you hit your hands. Because there was, I believe it was a fourth down play, fourth quarter. We were still down. It was already 3-19, and they threw a ball deep to Semi Fehoko, and he almost had a nice sideline catch, but he dropped it. And it's like in that situation, like you got to catch it. Like there's no excuse for it. So another takeaway from that game, Trayvon Diggs did look a lot better in this game than he did last season, where he was giving up all these yards, because he did have a good couple pass breakups. So, in my opinion, Trayvon Diggs, Michael Parsons were really the only ones that kind of showed up in that game. So, that's something I try to be optimistic even with these losses. Like, you got to try to find the good things that we take away from. Now going on to the bad news, Dak Prescott. He injured his hand. I think it was like mid fourth quarter. Yeah, mid fourth quarter, he injured his hand. He's going to require surgery. The initial timeline was him to come back either at or around the bye week, but there have been reports earlier today that I saw that they're saying like, hey, his surgery went well. He actually has a real chance of coming back in week 5 against the Rams, which is going to be a game we're going to need him. However, with that being said, I don't want to rush him back because you got to remember, he's going against Aaron Donald. So, do you really want to try to rush him back and try to take that huge risk of him getting re-injured and then he'll end up being out for the season? I wouldn't do it. I would wait until, say, the Lions game to bring him back if he's clear to come back. Let's say all these things I'm talking about right now, like, is if he's clear to come back and if he's 100%, then I would say hold off until, even if he's clear for week 5. If he's 100% clear and he feels like he can play, let him play. But if for me managing the team, I'd be like, I'm going to wait until we're playing a team that doesn't have one of them superstar defensive players that could hit him, and then he'll be out again. And then we really got to go the rest of the season without him. So I would say wait until the Lions game. That's in week 7, I believe. Yeah, week 7. We play the Lions. And see how he does in that game. If he's still looking off or whatever, give him some rest. But if he's going off like he normally does against scrub teams, then by all means let him play. But that's me. Another thing. CeeDee Lamb, I think the expectations for him kind of got to his head because everybody was expecting him to be like this great number one wideout, have a breakout season, which I do believe he still can, but he just needs help because they always say there's no I in team, so it's a team effort, especially with offense. So one reason why the Tampa Bay Bucks are so good right now because they have an elite receiving core. They have Mike Evans, they have Chris Godwin, and now they have Julio Jones and Russell Gage, whatever his name is, guy from the Falcons. We're just going to say that, which on paper is a really good receiving core, and they showed that they were the better receiving core because Mike Evans had a pretty good game. I'm looking at his stats right now on my other phone: 5 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Want to know why he was able to do that? Because he had Chris Godwin for a majority of the game until he got injured. He had Julio. Long story short, what I'm trying to say is with that receiving core, they had the defense guessing like, who do we guard, and who's he throwing it to? Because Brady did not throw a whole bunch of incompletions. Dak, to start the game, I believe they said he was like 6 for 14 or 6 for 16 or something like that, and he was still missing more and more passes. So that like I said, that game was frustrating. I was frustrated for Dak because I was just like, dude, he's not getting any help because his O line is banged up. Defense is trying to play the hardest, but it's like he was trying to make sure they didn't have to keep coming back onto the field because you want to give your defense as much rest as possible, which is why I need us to go back to the running game because we need to build our O-line. That's where the running game starts. We can get a solid O-line, which our O-line isn't bad. It's just that injuries have plagued us, and it's keeping us from being what we were back in 2014, 2016, where the running game, we were just killing it. Nobody could run the ball like we ran the ball. But another issue is that for some reason, we can't just go out and get some guys who are veterans because you gotta look at it like this. Tyron Smith is over 30. Zach Martin's over 30. Don't get me wrong, those are two great offensive linemen. And I honestly think someday both of those guys will be in the Hall of Fame. I can guarantee you that. I can say that with 100% confidence. Zach Martin and Tyron Smith will be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if they're going to be first ballot, but I can promise you the way they played throughout their careers, they will be in the Hall of Fame. Now, with that being said, they're both in their 30s. Zach Martin, I believe, is 30, and Tyron Smith is about 32, 33. When you're in the NFL, once you start hitting that age of 30, your body is going to start breaking down because you're taking so many hits. So and then it's so many young guys coming at you, older guys coming at you, guys that are on the same level, higher level, lower level, and it's just like it's so much that you gotta do, and it's like you gotta keep your body in shape for it, and it kind of just breaks your body down. So what I've been trying to preach to so many people is that we need to get somebody that Tyron Smith and Zach Martin can mentor. So another guard and another left tackle. We also need another center, but Tyler Biotish, he hasn't been the greatest, but he hasn't been horrible either. So there's still some hope for him, but if he doesn't do well this season, next year maybe that year where it's like, yo, you gotta get out of here. Last season. So Cooper Rush. We all saw how well he played against the Vikings last year. You gotta remember though, there weren't as many guys that were hurt. We still had that 3-headed monster I mentioned earlier. So you gotta ask yourself this: did he put up those 300 yards that he had in that game, or did the receivers put up that 300 yards in the game? So I think this upcoming week will kind of be prove it for him. Like, can you really be this number two guy, or do you need these superstar receivers to make you look good? So that'll be the main thing that I will be watching for in this game coming up on Sunday against Cincinnati. Another thing I'm gonna be watching is the matchup between Jamar Chase and Trayvon Diggs, because I think that's gonna be a good matchup. But I'm also gonna be looking at Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb as receivers, like who's playing well, who's doing what, and how they basically what I'm trying to say is I want to see if Lamb can keep up with Jamar Chase, if that makes sense. Because I think he'll do decent. I'm predicting CeeDee Lamb probably have about 50, 60 yards, and Jamar Chase against Trayvon Diggs will probably have about 30 yards, but for the game as a whole, he'll probably have like 70 or 80. I don't think he's going to have 100 just because we actually do well about keeping receivers under 100 yards. Only issue is like guys like Anthony Brown, which I'll talk about him again in a minute, is he's giving up big plays, and it's like when it's a deep ball and the ball's about to go over your head, instead of trying to knock it down or at least play the receiver and try to swat his hands, you go into a panic mode and just look like you're lost, like you don't know what you're doing. All right, moving on about Anthony Brown. I think it's time to move on from him because he has not shown me anything to make me say, okay, he can be our number two corner. They let Byron Jones go. They let Byron Jones walk back in after the 2019 season. They let Chidobe Awuzie, who wasn't much better than Anthony Brown, but at least Cheeto was getting a few more picks than Anthony Brown was, and little bit less penalties. Not by much, because Awuzie was getting penalties with us, but it wasn't as many as Anthony Brown. We've been dealing with Anthony Brown's constant defensive holding, pass interference, always getting burnt. It's like when they throw it to Anthony Brown, one of three things is going to happen. It's either going to be a huge completion, he's going to get pass interference, or he's going to draw defensive holding. None of those are good in our way. So I think we definitely need to shop another cornerback. Because if you really think about it, imagine if we had retained Byron Jones or even retain Awuzie, which I already know in the comments y'all going to be like, oh, Awuzie was hurt, Awuzie's trash, Awuzie is this. I'd rather take Awuzie over Anthony Brown any day of the week. Because he's with Cincinnati now. He's doing a little bit better than when he was with us. But like I said, I would take Awuzie over Anthony Brown as that number 2/number 3 corner any day of the week. So that's just me. Put in the comments what you think. Yeah, it's just been a while since I've done one of these Cowboys videos, and that game had me really frustrated. And it's like all the memes people have been trying to talk shit, but it's just like, bro, at the end of the day, it's week 1, so we still got 16 more games to play. That means 16 more opportunities to win, and 16 more opportunities to make us get us a good playoff spot. So that's the way I look at it. Like I said, I try to be optimistic when it comes to football, especially early in the year, because it's like, yeah, we lost our first game, but a lot of teams lost their first game. Granted, we had the worst loss because we're the only team that did not score a touchdown, but it is what it is. Some days you do well, some days you do bad. But hey, maybe, and this is me being optimistic again, but maybe this will kind of fire them up. Be like, yo, we really just went the whole game without scoring a touchdown, and they'll fire them up next week, and they can go in and actually catch the Bengals slipping. Not sleeping, slipping. But who knows? But only Sunday will tell. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you leave a like and comment below your favorite football team and your score predictions for the Cowboys versus Bengals. The game will be at 4:30 Eastern time, and I'll see you guys next time.